it's time for plank break, and today I'm at the office. I'm not in my office, but I'm in another vacant office, so the sound is a little hollow and echoey, but we can get the job done. So today I'm going to start on forearms, and I'm going to hold halfway and then go to hands, even though that's a little harder for me, but I should be able to do it. So, and our theme today is don't be afraid to start planking. You can do it. So starting on forearms, arms out in front of you, then reach around your arms so you have the right distance between your elbows. And then bring forearms out in front of you. You can interlace your fingers if you like. I like doing that. I think it makes it a little bit easier. Pull your shoulder blades together, reach them down your back, then lift your upper back, lift your chest, pull in your belly, come up on your toes, and then shift your weight forward slightly, making that long line. Notice the shift. When I shifted, my hips were sticking way up, and shifting forward helps lengthen. And then I'm going to pull in my abs again. Pull in, pull in, pull in, tightening up my glutes, pressing into the floor. And so you'll see that my shape changed a little bit just from doing that again. So we're coming up on 30 seconds already. Look at me talking along. 30 seconds. Here we are. Pulling in my belly again. Sometimes when I start talking, I get a little more relaxed and I start losing some of my form. So, I said it's a little harder, I think, to go halfway on my forearms and then halfway on my hands. Yesterday, though, I did the whole time on my forearms when I was at the Army recruitment office. But I was interviewing someone, or two different people actually, and I just kept going on my forearms and I made it. So we're at 1 minute already. So I know that I can hold it on my forearms the whole time if I want to, but there's something about when I switch it that it makes my arms really shaky. That's okay though. I know I can make it. I've done it before and I'm going to do it again today. So going on to my theme of don't be afraid to plank. Sometimes I talk to people and they're just afraid, or it's fear that holds them back. One of the first things I hear them say is, well, I can probably only hold for 10 or 15 seconds, 1:30, or I can only hold for 30 seconds or something like that, or I've told you before that people say they're not wearing the right clothing or whatever. And a lot of it is just fear. And first of all, I don't want anybody to be afraid that they can't hold plank as long as I can. For one thing, because I do this every day. And so I am going to be able to hold it a little longer than somebody who's just starting. But don't be afraid to get started and hold it as long as you can, 2 minutes. Remember, you hold it as long as you can. Keep the stopwatch in front of you. Keep an eye on it. And once you've held as long as you think you can, hold it just a little bit longer. And then the next day, maybe you hold it a little bit longer again. So maybe you start off with 10 seconds. That's okay. You can't be afraid of what the number is. You can't be afraid to get started, because it's going to just keep you from doing it and it's going to hold you back. 2:30, switching to my hands. And see, my arms are already shaky. Remember, whenever you switch, go into it methodically. Think about it. Don't take too long, but think about what you're doing. So I'm pressing into the floor, separating my shoulders, pulling in my belly, extending my collarbones forward slightly, pressing my heels back, tightening up my glutes again, and then kind of going through the whole thing. You just keep doing it over and over again. 3 minutes. So if you think about it, this is your great workout in only 5 minutes. And then you may go, 5 minutes, that's a long time. But I've said before, and I'm telling the truth. 5 minutes, this is the fastest 5 minutes of my day is when I'm doing my plank break. And I actually look forward to them. And even though I'm a little shaky, today I'm a little shaky. And again, it's because I went from my forearms to my hands. I don't know why that is, but it really does happen almost every time. 3:30. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of failing. Because here's the thing, how are you going to fail at plank? As long as you just try, then you've done it. Just try to do it. Even if you start on your knees even, but maybe you can come up for just a few seconds and on your hands or your forearms, or even when you're on your knees. When I planked with Sarah Teevault a few months ago, one of the things she did, 4 minutes, she came down on her knees after a little while, but she was still pressing her forearms into the floor, pulling in her belly, engaging her glutes, And so she was still getting the benefits, a lot of the benefits of plank without doing the whole thing. So you don't use that as an excuse. Oh, I can't hold it for very long on my hands or on my toes, with my knees off the floor. Don't use that as an excuse. You can still get some benefit from plank, even with your knees down. 4:30. So I'm pressing into the floor again, separating my shoulders, pulling in my belly. Remember, that's the biggest thing you're getting out of plank. It's working on your abdominal muscles. You working on that core strength, which is strengthening your lower back. My right arm is shaking, but I'm still going because I know I can. But I'm probably gonna stop at 5 minutes because my arm is shaking so much. Here we go, last few seconds. And I'm at 5 minutes, so yes, I am stopping today because my arm is shaking so much. But it doesn't hurt. It won't be shaking later. The effects are temporary as far as that goes. But I tell you what, I know that I'm working, and I say that the abdominal muscles, that's the best part you're working, but really working your arms. I got a lot of good arm stuff going on from planking. I do not lift weights, just throwing that out there. Okay, I'll see you again tomorrow.